So we had a 2 week Minecraft phase as normal people do a couple weeks ago and just canceled the server and download the world. So I figured made some pretty cool builds in it. Let's show them off. So going through right now, we got a couple of overview things of the different civilizations that happened. What we did is we split up a giant island between four factions, each comprised of a couple different people who were some more active than others, and I think each of them turned out really well. Obviously, it's only a 2 week phase. It didn't go too much further than that, so a lot of things are left to be completed or not fully complete, but I think that's the nature of a 2 week phase, anyways, so it kind of is what it is. Here's the civilization map. On the right side, we had Goom Lagoon and the little pirate cove.
On the top, we have the Raisin Republic. On the bottom, we've got Leviathan Keep.
And on that left side coast, we had Paydirt. All separated by a huge mountain in the middle, of course. So, starting off with Goom Lagoon, we had a big old pirate ship. Obviously, that's a staple thing. You can't have a pirate cove without a pirate ship. Big giant dot going down into it. We tried to fill it as much as we could. Really nestled in the rocks. We had to do quite a bit of terraforming, but not as much as you might think. It was a really good cove. We weren't even planning on doing a pirate cove at first, but as soon as we saw it, we were exploring the sea, we were like, this has gotta be it. Little mini pirate dinghy. This is kind of like the main entrance. Of course, you got the alarm systems. You can't be caught lacking as a pirate. That's literally the rule number one. This side, this is the starter area. Also, unfinished interiors because we can get to that. It looks pretty from the outside, but they're a little bit too interiors for the 2 weeks. Here's our storage room. Didn't really do much resource gathering. It just kind of like the stuff we stumbled across. I think we probably spent like 80% of our time on this building and maybe exploring. Which made it a lot more fun for the 2 week phase, that's for sure. Got, of course, some NPCs and this is kind of the first section got the local cat. Enchantment table, of course. Super majestic location. This is our original storage. Meant for that to be a bigger cave that connected up, but it kind of just ended up being like a dead body area, to be honest. Going into the main area, we had our original shack, which is where we lived for a while. Nice little bunk bed. Did the job for a bit. Got Carson's home, which is right above the blacksmith, of course. Not too large an interior, but it does the job. Obviously, the tools and things that you need for that. We kind of spread things out. It's not much of a utility base, more of like a get what you need, spread out, and look pretty type of base. Carson's house is really neat, of course. Any notes on it? Going up top, we had a big giant system of like water running underneath it. That's just kind of how it worked. They were just water caves, so we obviously beautified them a little bit, but kind of figured to incorporate it because I feel like that fits in with the pirate theme. Gotta live with the water, right? Have secret tunnels and whatnot. Going up top, we got our food supply, the pigs that we bred and killed, of course. Melons and pumpkins, that was kind of our largest trade, we thought. And of course, potatoes, that's pretty much our only main food source that we use. These are some good vantage points as well. Back down into the giant overhang. We kind of had to build the overhang over this just to get it to be a little bit darker. I think it turned out really well though. Got parrots in, of course, because what would a parrot base be without parrots? This right here is the Clownfish Deep. The lore around that's interesting because there are a bunch of, it's a super deep cavern, like at least 20-30 blocks deep with a cave. And accidentally spawned on there with tropical fish. It's really just a constant stream of them. This is kind of like our main plaza area. We meant to have the government building here, be that main one in the back. Kind of didn't end up being built on the inside, but it looks grand at least, and a couple of little houses. But these are kind of little floors open. The yachts, as you can see, the the caves down here, a couple more entrances to it. We were kind of going for like a chaotic, messy, like strung together type of vibe, not anything neat. Pirates ain't really doing that. Here we got the bakery right underneath my house. Got some bread, flour, a little bit of yeast and berries, anything that felt like it would cook a clean. Obviously not too large, but does the job. Coming up to my house, I think this is really the epitome of the chaos. It's kind of all over the place, but got the little fireplace, the working bed, filled up with all kinds of random furniture. Obviously nothing crazy, but especially with the loft, I think it really fits the vibe of a pirate who just kind of living off the land. Doesn't care what his house looks like, just cares that it works and feels cozy. And then, of course, the last interior, the busiest place in town. Of course, you got the tavern. Stop by the bouncer, make sure you get ID'd, because no little kid pirates allowed. Got some business going on. Tequila and everything. Because the pirate base be without a place to drink. Come on. A little bit of a mine going on over here. We got the gems that we pull up from our super deep cavern. Building on this side. That one was weird doing it on an angle, but I think it worked out. And the last part over here is the stables. Just a place to keep our horses and we'd ever use for transport. Yep, can't forget about the Nautiluses. Those are actually so insane. You see big St. James Island over in the distance if you had a keen eye. No, it's no little St. James Island. Just in case you were wondering. And of course, going back up to the dock, there's a little trading post here that kind of highlights like the local resources and whatnot that we'd be interested in trading with other civilizations. Another thing, what would a pirate base be without a pirate ship? It's nothing crazy. We obviously didn't do anything crazy with the interior. We're gonna put some villagers down there. Got the cannons. I think that's really all you need, right? Put some decent amount of work into that ship. We planned on putting a couple more out, but at least having one works. And then the last part up here is a staircase leading out. It's the one main entrance to come in. It's a pretty protected cove, which is the other nice thing about it. It fits the pirate theme pretty well. Just bringing it to the side. Get a really nice view of the mountains. This is where it really opens up. You can see the beauty of the seed that we picked and the famous doohickey. You can see what happened here. We had one of our friends, Bob. He got launched up in the air. This is a trick that I learned from an Etho video. Pretty much copied his machine one for one, but as you can see, it sent him 2.7 million blocks in the air. How long was it in the air for?
Like 10 minutes or something, maybe 5 minutes.
It was something, yeah, I think it was about 10 minutes. He was up in the air. This is the footage of him finally crashing back down to Earth at Mach speed. That is not sped up at all. Kind of insane that you can do that. All you got to do is like stick together a bunch of wind charges onto one block. But yeah, here's our top part. We got, of course, a super insane trail system going between all the civilizations. Waterfalls that we built up coming down, powering our entire base with that little windmill. I think it really works out having that stuff going on top. It really filled up the picture and made it feel complete. Even though the interiors aren't complete, it feels complete, which is kind of what we were going for. That's beautiful. Love the way it looks with shaders. The one thing the shaders doesn't... The water outside is just... It goes crazy, dude. There's like an insane water cave system. Hence the axolotls killing a million fish. Watching the back, we can't really any unforeseen people make sure we're coming down here because this is kind of the last little secret. Get to explore the water caves in depth. So there's one secret down here. make your way around it. You obviously got to know your way around a little bit. Pirates aren't going to make it easy, but what would a pirate base be without some booty? Got Carson in there throwing it around.
Throwing some booty.
Yep, throwing some booty. That's the number one pirate activity. That's it. That's Boom Lagoon, the first of the 4 civilizations. And now, enjoy a ride as we follow Carson on his horse up to the Raisin Republic.
Welcome to the Raisin Republic. Walking in, you'll see nice paths built by me, of course. We are right now strolling through Annika-shire, built around, as you can tell, Annika. Pulling up, we have my personal main base, but it's also our UM building in Minecraft, where the 4 nations will come and have their meetings. Inside, we've got a nice meeting room. We've got our big table. You can really tell how big this one is. Otherwise, back here, it's just my personal living quarters. Pretty cozy. It's by myself. Of course, it's not much. I focused on building a lot of other things than this, but it gets the job done. Front, we got a few. You can tell my area is focused around. Here's
Great living conditions, by the way.
Yes, pristine. Of course, I've got a bridge across the lake. Some nice views around here. Up here we have my good friend Eli's base. He doesn't play much, but he built a base in a day and called it good, and I'll say it looks pretty good. Got some nice detailing too. Going through with the rest. Let's see. Well, coming up ahead, we've got some nice crop fields. That's my main food supply. I never really industrialized beyond that. Crops get the job done. Following the paths now, we're going back up to Annika-shire to get a proper tour of the area. Coming up first, we're coming up to Annika's personal place. Access to chickens. And you can really expand this. Forest pen with and her personal base. Daily a second. Our first coming up ahead, we've got KFC. Run personally by Annika. It's a very cool place. We've got KFC buckets, of course. We've got the biscuits, a variety of things. can see some people taking some orders there. It's a nice building overall. Didn't take too long to build. But other than that, that's the Raisin Republic for you. You got some nice scenic shots throughout here. You can tell I love the valley that I built this in, and it's nice that there's a village spawn there too. Coming up ahead, we've got the DMZ. You'll see more on that later, though.
And now we follow Carson as he goes over to the Pay Dirt civilization across the rocky mountain edges. So now we're heading into the wonderful land of Pay Dirt by Gus and Lars. They were a lot less active than the other members on this, hence why they only have 2 larger buildings, but they built it into a village, so it feels a little bit more lived in, and the buildings that they were able to build are pretty high quality, so I think they did a good job with the time that they spent on this. Starting off with Lars's house. I think this is a pretty nice house. Really nice little frame structure here. Fits the theme and the time period well that a lot of us are kind of following. Minus the KFC in the Raisin Republic, but a nice little kitchen. Hard to look at it. Not too much of an interior going on, but they did have a pretty good basement with their storage and utilities and whatnot. Everything that they would ever possibly need. You got the upstairs with the beds. Really nice furnishing. I love it a lot. It's a really open floor plan. Like, exactly. That's a man's house I've ever seen one. Great looking house. And we got the clock, or the big old watchtower up on the distance. Looking beautiful, of course. Can see over the entire civilization. There's also definitely, and by a mile, the smallest of the civilizations on this world, but considering how isolated it is, I think it does the job. Their little starter house, Sigma. That's what I have to say about that. And we can come up the watchtower, get the good views. Struggle a little bit coming up because I was getting not very great frames here. Laptop is not built for gaming like that in shows, but it's worth it. And of course, the last session down there, they got their little gardening area with their animals and food that they were living off of. I think it's a pretty well done civilization, especially considering the time that they had. And so now we'll follow Carson once again as he takes a trip through the mountains over to Leviathan Peak.
Okay, so here we're coming up on Leviathan Keep, by far the most expansive civilization, especially considering they had the most people out of all civilizations. So here we're coming up to Bob's Castle, which is very huge. Don't ask where the lighting is. Feel modified with specs. But here we got Bob's security for his house, of course. We got his blacksmith up here. Very nice house, very nice castle. And from here we can make our own, which is also very nice, very nicely framed. And that has also a very nice, massive wheat field, we could say. Now, don't mind the heavy gas, they're pretty famous for being the fast food installed. It's very anti-aging, it's very nice house.
Collection of FM helmets and the of course.
Of course. And making our way back out here, we can move on to their nether portal, which is like a. Doesn't really show up in shaders that crazily.
I know. You know, at least in another rank.
And behind here, you'll see Carson R's base. Really little staircase that took all the budget. The staircase kind of ate up the interior budget, but no one questions that.
It's all about looking grand, not being grand.
Now, making our way down here to the very expansive stone path network, which also took a lot of budget. We can see the spear pit, which hosts a lot of spear duels. It's a very fun area. And we've got their actual capital building. And as you go in, you see Prince Andrew's throne here. There's an Oscar's skull on this. And we got two guys here. They're just eating potatoes. Don't mind them. That's a nice meeting table. And going down, we got their storage room.
Quickly peek through it.
Yep.
Something crazy going on. Goes down too, right?
Yeah, it does. And heading back out here, we can go back to the studio and see some people in action. A very full-fledged studio. And of course, with the prince, you gotta get your prince's spear pit throne for ample space. And as you can see here, this was I was hired to build this thing, and it turned out really nicely. And now just doing a flyover, we can see the expanse of the keep. This is their don't worry about the zombie noises. And flying over here, we've got another wheat field, of course, and their docks, and their mine.
Very much an agricultural society.
Yes. And of course, they also have a massive horse track, which fits the culture of our island with our horse paths that go all across it. And you
He had a rule where if you used elytra on this world, you ate cancer. So horses were very vital to our ecosystem.
exactly.
Very
And
large
of
stables.
course, we have a Nautilus racetrack, which is built sort of that last minute. And overall, that's Leviathan Keep. It's extremely expansive and a very lived-in civilization.
And now we'll ride with Carson back over to Goom Lagoon, through the mountains, and through Owen Taper. Definitely has nothing to do with a certain kind of fade. Enjoy the views. terraforming project that went and happened with the water and stuff coming down here, the Goom Lagoon. Very happy with the way this world turned out, especially considering it was a 2-week phase. So hope you guys enjoyed it too. Enjoy some pictures of scenic shots that we were able to get with these shaders, and also happenings that occurred on the server as it happened, because the lore is actually pretty deep.